Well, guys, one important current affair news for this week is that the Madras High Court ban on e-pharmacy. This issue is very important. It covers actually mainly two important topics from our syllabus. One is public health, another is government policies and its implementation and issues arising out of it. So when we say e-pharmacy, first we have to prepare notes regarding its benefits or concerns. So when we say benefits or when we say advantages, what might be the advantages of e-pharmacy? Then affordability. Affordability is, we all know that e-pharmacy provides an affordability. You can access to any drugs from any point at any moment of your life whenever you need it, right, without physically moving, yeah, without being disturbed by the unavailability of the drug. So affordability, door to door step affordability, mainly it is very important thing. Then cost effective. Cost effective means there are different e-pharmacies you will get. They might give you the drug at a very affordable prices in comparison to the offline pharmacy. Choices, you have multiple choices, right? You can choose any of the e-pharmacy which you like. And in the time, this is the time of telemedicine. When telemedicine is developing in the country, in that case e-pharmacy can help a better for the consumers. And it is a globalization. This is an age of globalization. In this age of globalization, you need to access, and you can access to drugs from any part of the world. The e-pharmacist actually gives you a platform to access to the world of the drug to any part of the world. You can import drugs to the e-pharmacist, or you can find any various e-pharmacists which will give you drugs from any imported company, or which drugs are not available in India. E-pharmacists might make you available those drugs importing from outside India. In that way, inclusive health. E-pharmacies makes a great contribution to the inclusive health. From any part of the world, any people can get access to them. E-pharmacies provides a large arena of drugs which might not be available in offline pharmacy, or which might not be produced or manufactured in India, which e-pharmacies gives you the availability of imported drugs, and that too also at a very cost-effective rate because of the competition. These are some of the beneficial advantages which e-pharmacy might provide you. But when we come to the concerns of the e-pharmacy, what are the concerns? Before going into the concerns, we must have to see that under which law actually e-pharmacies are maintained. When we say about the law, we must have to say that Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 and Drug and Cosmetic Rules 1945. E-pharmacies are mainly controlled by these laws, but still we cannot say that the e-pharmacies are maintained by these these laws, because there is no mention of e-pharmacy in these laws also. But when we say about the concerns, we have to take help of these acts to find out the concerns of e-pharmacy. For example, section 18C of the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940 says that no drug can be sold without any license, and section 27 imposes penalty for violating this rule. And again, Section 10 says that impurity should be controlled. That means only standard quality of drugs should be sold. There should be a check to observe the impurity in the selling of drugs. So what we can gather, that there is no mention of e-pharmacy in the Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. That is why there should be a concern of selling drugs without permission, without license necessary for selling drugs, or there should be a matter of impurity in the drugs which might arise from the e-pharmacy, right? Because there is no existing law at this moment to address these issues. In that way, Drug and Cosmetic Rule 1945 says that sale of drug should be only under the supervision of a pharmacist, and there is no particular criteria to fix this under the e-pharmacy. That is why this is another concern here. And again, There are some drugs which are called Schedule X and Schedule H1 drugs. These are known as restrictive drugs, and these are related to antibiotic, painkiller, and anti-anxiety. And as per the Drug and Cosmetic Rules 1945 says that whenever any pharmacy sells this kind of drugs, they have to maintain details of the patient in a separate register, and there should be a particular rate labeling in such kind of drugs. But e-pharmacies, because of the lack of any such law especially addressing for e-pharmacy, there might be a concern that these kind of drugs should be sold to any age of the people without any particular prescription, and there is a chance of misusing of these drugs in a wide way. And because of the frequent use of antibiotic, we all know that bacterial resistance is formed, and which is another concern here. So this is another concern related to Schedule X and Schedule H1 drugs, which have not been, which might not be addressed by the e-pharmacists at present scenario, or there is a chance of misusing these drugs because of the much more e-pharmacies forming everywhere. Again, if we come to the Ethical Code of Medical Council of India 1956, a Code of Ethics Regulation 2002, these have made some criteria that there should be a togetherness between the pharmacist and the doctor. Both should go hand in hand for a better public health service. For a pharmacist and a doctor should always keep secret of the patient. There should not be any involvement of commission in this system. But e-pharmacists might not be obliged to all these rules. There might be an availability of commission because e-pharmacists might give commission to doctors. Yeah, doctors might commission to e-pharmacists because of their own advantages in special factors. There should not be any secret of the patients. And here is not, doctors are not particularly involved any in case of e-pharmacies. So these are some again concerns which might arise from e-pharmacies. Another concern is regarding the information technology. So e-pharmacy generally comes if any problems arises regarding information sharing or technology, then the existing law in India is only Information Technology Act. But there is no clear provision of e-pharmacy in this act. How Information Technology Act will deal with e-pharmacy, there is no transparent provision here. Though 43 Section A of the Information Technology Act regulates privacy, but this is not particularly involved with the e-pharmacy. So there is a concern regarding the protection of privacy of the patients in case of e-pharmacy. So if we concise the concerns of e-pharmacy, then we can divide it into many subsections. For example, legal, technical, ethical, health, misuse, and self-diagnosis. Legal concerns means under which act e-pharmacy will come. Under the Drug and Cosmetic Act, there is no distinction between of pharmacy and e-pharmacy. So a clear distinction has to be made for e-pharmacy for legal criteria. In case of technical glitches, there is no existing and clear technical law or technical system to protect the privacy or to maintain the record of the patients and prescriptions. There are lots of ethical concerns. Here is a might involvement of commission, and this commission might be swayed by the doctors as well as e-pharmacists also. And ethical concern is there is a problem of narcotic drugs and other H1 and X scheduled drugs which might be available to teenagers or other persons of society, and in this way it might create a vulnerability to some particular sections of society, and eventually it might create chaos in society. Health concern, we all know that frequent use of antibiotic might create various problems, right? It creates particular resistant system where in future medicines will not work. In that way, misuse of any drugs might create very dangerous threat to public health system. Misuse all know anyone can misuse when drugs are available there. In case of society, for example, if to take revenge, to make suicide, yeah, to attack someone, right? These drugs might be misused. Self diagnosis is a particular term, and it's a very especially so in India. Actually, everyone tries to be doctor, right? Everyone gives advice. In this case, you all know that how self-diagnosis can invite a very great and dangerous threat to public health system. So these are some concerns of categorically which we can divide in a categorically regarding e-pharmacy. Regarding solution, you can already take the solution from the problems. The problems I have already discussed, and you can find out the solutions from the root of the problems. Still, there should be some criteria. Yeah, there should be some government steps to define e-pharmacy. First, the clear definition of e-pharmacy under particular law has to be made. Give legal domain to e-pharmacy means government should give some logo. Yeah, government should give some particular criteria which must have to be fulfilled by e-pharmacy, and government must have to give particular license and particular recognition to e-pharmacy, so that the people can recognize the organized e-pharmacy and non-organized, which e-pharmacies are recognized by the government and which are not. Control on Schedule H, H1 and narcotic drugs. What is e-prescription? Its record. All these criteria should be determined. Privacy should be determined. So this is a very important topic for current affairs, which might involved in any paper. Even it might arise question for the ethics paper also. So I'll come again with another topic, current affairs. And if you are benefited by this video, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. It will inspire me to make new video for your exam preparation.